So, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to today's sharing of Harmonize2Energize. My name is Terry Matthews. It's been my privilege and pleasure to share aspects of JIN SHIN JYUTSU, self-help, and modalities with overlapping connections for at least 4.5 years. For those of you that are completely brand new, the art of JIN SHIN JYUTSU is a form of energy balancing, whereupon we use our hands, our palms, our fingers, our thumbs to balance what is sometimes called the life force or prana, which circulates through our body in energy pathways. And in JIN SHIN JYUTSU, we regulate it by placing our hands, fingers, and palms on what we call safety energy locks, acupuncturists call points. And they're like resistors in an electrical circuit. They will allow energy to flow and control it if it gets out of balance or out of harmony. How does it do that? Those energy locks become blocked. But when we place our hands on them, we can begin to shift those blockages. The blockages are usually on the level of our thoughts, our emotional responses, our words, and then our deeds, creating a pattern which prevents the energy from working harmoniously. So welcome, everybody. I hope you had a happy entrance into 2024, a birth into the vibration of the 8, 2 + 2 + 4, or 20 + 24, coming to an 8. And last week with Lisa, we talked about how we moved from 2023, 7th. Could you mute yourself? The 7 energy, which is universal light, to 2024, which is like you're almost going back on yourself, which is, from my understanding, the truth. It's like 8th depth is within every safety energy lock that we talked about just earlier. By the way, if I omitted to mention it, there's 26 safety energy locks left and right of our spine, and 3 in the arms. 2 and 6 is another 8, isn't it? And, you know, there's different understandings of how energy denses down from, excuse me, could you mute yourself? From apparently nothing or no thing or space to something. And I think there's a biblical quote that goes at the beginning, in the beginning was the Word. But at the beginning, there was an understanding of nothing, no thing, a vacuum. And in JIN SHIN JYUTSU, Mary Burmeister, who brought the teachings from the East to the West, created this system of depths to describe how energy subdivides, denses down from subtler to denser frequencies. And the 9th depth would be that space, that vacuum, that quantum field, where apparently there is no thing. And yet, according to quantum field, there is this very subtle vibration, very tiny movement, not discernible to anything that humanity has so far come up with, but apparently it's there. And at some point, that vibration denses down to a dot or a concentration of energy, which in JIN SHIN JYUTSU we call the 8th depth. As above, so below is often the characterization of the number 8 in numerology. In JIN SHIN JYUTSU, we have books for those of you that are brand new, and this one is called the 0 to 26, which looks at the safety energy locks through the eyes of JIN SHIN JYUTSU instructors. And I want to read to you first what Muriel Colton and Wayne Hackett have to say about safety energy lock number 8, which resonates with that understanding of the 8th depth. Both, by the way, have been on Harmonize2Energize. And wouldn't it be lovely if I got them both to come together? I'm working on it. Muriel, as I contemplate the number 8, I become aware that it is the path of all evolutionary cycles. Mary has said that the 8s connect man with the woman, with the Creator, as above, so below, as below, so above. Connector of heaven above to earth below. If 8s are locked, we are stagnant, out of touch with our creativity, unable to receive. We feel powerless to accomplish what motivates us because energy cannot flow through the pelvic girdle. And we talked last week how the egg can be harmonized through holding the index finger, which when it's out of harmony can cause a lot of fear, which of course prevents us from motivating. Can you please mute yourself? Wayne. The sacred teachings of mankind, inclusive of all cultures, have espoused a common truth in the number 8. In the study of JIN SHIN JYUTSU, safety energy lock, 8 represents and demonstrates this action of creation. The depiction of 8 as 2 circles, one above the other, illustrates this understanding. In symbology, the circle refers to spirit, and in the 8, the message is spirit above, spirit below. I introduced the idea that in the language of numbers, the 8 resonates with the word Om, which comes from the oldest known language to man, I believe, Sanskrit. AU and M added together in their relationship as they appear in the 26, interestingly, letters of the alphabet add up to 35, which reduces down to an 8. And guess what? No surprise here. God also adds up to 8. In the Hindu tradition, God is the generator, operator, destroyer of the universe. Going back to that original idea that in the beginning was the Word, but at the beginning was the nothing, there is this understanding from the Tao that the Tao is the nothing which created God, which created heaven and earth. I'll leave you to ruminate on that one. It's also understood that God is the Tao as well. So how to scramble yourself? Start playing. So where are we going with this? Well, in JIN SHIN JYUTSU, we can look at how different safety energy locks resonate with those letters of, in this case, Om. I'm choosing Om instead of God because in most traditions, those words are chanted. In some traditions, it is the Amen. In others, it's the Amin. In others, it's the Ament. But I think Om is probably more easily recognized. Many traditions, certainly from the Hindu tradition, will chant Om. In some writings, it's spelt OM, Om Hari Om, praising the One. And O and M actually come up to a 6 in numerology, which is balance and harmony. So whichever way you want to look at it. We're talking about, I believe, a creative force that gave birth to everything else. And in 2024, we apparently are beginning to resonate with that source energy, the as above, so below. So maybe it's an opportunity for us to reconnect with that aspect of ninth depth, the creation aspect. What are we going to create in 2024 that resonates with the creation from the purity of the divine aspect, the God aspect, that resonance? Sure, we can create different levels of our own being. Our mind is there to process information in order to create something. But what if we're being asked to go back to a higher dimension this year, a higher resonance of creation in that 8, and bring down that source energy and let that filter through our thoughts, words, and deeds? How well it's going to filter through our words and deeds, to a large extent, will depend on how our safety energy locks are, how they are in terms of harmony, how clear they are. Are they blocked through our thoughts, words, and deeds? So I thought, as just an experiment, we could begin to practice using the safety energy locks that resonate with each letter of Om. And A, of course, is safety energy lock number 1. U is safety energy lock 21. M is safety energy lock 13. And finally, adding up to the 35, reducing to 8, we have safety energy lock 8. And if we want to look at a higher dimension of 8 in terms of the energy locks, we can go to the 17, which we did last week on the ring finger, or the 26, which is the palm of the hand, or here, all complete. So those of you that are familiar with Harmonize2Energize know that I particularly like to work with, back to number 9, 4 sets of 9 breaths. 9, by the way, represents the end of a cycle, beginning of a new in numerology. So we move through different dimensions. We begin them and we end them and transfer to the next one. And we'll begin with looking at safety energy lock number 1. And I've got a slideshow. So for anyone who's new and doesn't know where it is, here we go. Oh, there it is. Can you all see that?
Yes.
Okay, good. There it is, safety energy lock number 1. I find what Mary said on the left side of all these safety energy locks to be very useful. We talked about 8, the creator, or creative force. She says here for number 1, all creation proceeds from unity, A. So the unified field, it proceeds back from the 9th depth, the unified field. Came into the universe, meaning the prime mover, connecting the extreme height with the extreme depth. So there's many ways we can hold safety energy lock number one. We can literally place our hands on the safety energy lock number one, left and right, or we can cross our hands and place it. And I think there is some, yeah, here we go. There are some different ways of holding safety energy lock number one that Mary describes in Self-Help Book 2. You can see here she's crossing, the illustration is crossing the hands and holding the inside of the knee, or she's holding the thumb to resonate with the position of safety energy lock one in relation to the movement of energy through the supervisor flow, another story. Or same side, 2 and 1. One hand on the hip and the other hand on that safety energy lock number one. So just have a look at those diagrams, particularly if you're completely brand new. And then we're going to move that energy, that primal energy, that creative force proceeding from unity, for 9 exhalation inhalations. And as we exhale, we move energy from the back of our head, safety energy lock 4, which is the window to let in more light, through our hip line, safety energy lock 15, bringing, filling our heart with joy and laughter. And safety energy lock 7, which is the big toe, victory, perfect life power. We have brought heaven at this level, 8th depth, to earth. So let us begin. Your frequency, your velocity, your speed of doing these will be different from mine. But just relax, just sit up as straight as you can. Turn off any distractions. It's good to close your eyes to shut out any other kind of input. Place your hands on the ones or any of these variations. Close your eyes. And see if you can begin to feel the energy moving as it does from the head to the foot, but going through on that journey to safety energy lock number one as it descends. SEL 1, safety energy lock 1 is a descending direction of energy. Here we go, and we're going to do it for 9 exhalation inhalations. One breath is an exhalation followed by an inhalation. Let us begin. Energy moves in spirals in clockwise directions, both descending and ascending. The exhale is often much more conscious because we tend to inhale more than we exhale. And the inhale is natural because we do it a lot. So naturally inhale. And as you're exhaling, feel that energy moving through those energy locks, through safety energy lock 1, to the ground beneath, to the feet, and then moving back up. Back through 7, 15, 2, and 4. And sometimes it takes a little while, but eventually you may feel a pulsation where your hands, fingers are on safety energy lock 1. It's like the radial artery pulse, the blood pulse. And that indicates that you've got energy flowing through there, because the blood follows the energy. Maybe you can imagine you're at the beginning of creation. 1 and 8 are very close to one another on the body. So it's not too hard to stretch to that possibility. And just observe, just witness. Witness what's happening within your energy field. Maybe where you're feeling some sensation or not. And when you reach the 9th exhalation, inhalation, just pause. Go into what I call the neutral zone. And just mute yourself.
That would do that in depth of the marketing to sell your house. We're risking nearly $100,000.
So in the beginning, number 1. And as we move through the vibration, come to the letter U, in AUM, which is represented by safety energy lock 21. Oh, that's weird. Oh, there it is. Can you all see that? Under the cheekbones.
Yes, we see it.
There's different ways you can hold it. It came into the universe meaning profound security and escape from mental bondage. As we said last week, often the prevention of creation is some thought or emotional response, usually fear, some form of mind blockage, attitude. And Safety Engine Lock 21 will help us to erase those kinds of mental bondages so that we can give birth to our idea. And there it is. Simple ways of holding 21. If you can't hold your cheekbones, hold the thumb. Or here, Safety Engine Lock 19 with the opposite 1, which we've just held. So choose which way you want to go with this. This is a good facelift, by the way. And then we will just exhale and inhale again, naturally receive 9 times. Here we go. Perhaps you're feeling a release of tension from your head, from your overthinking, perhaps. And again, like the 21 is a descending safety engine lock, so observe the energy moving down to the feet before it ascends up the back. You come back down again by the 21 in this case. And as you come to the 9th exhalation, inhalation, if you do, just observe what's happening, where the energy is circulating or not. If you can feel the pulses, great. If not, great. It's a journey. And finally, well, if anything can be said to be final, in terms of the resonance of the word AUM, M resonates with Safety Engine Lock 13. Mary says here, awareness and understanding of the unloading, exhaling, and receiving, inhaling of the breath of life will help one to develop a more thoughtful and more all-embracing know myself. It is infinite truth, infinite self. 13 came into the universe meaning fertility, love your enemies. Now, there's many ways of looking at enemies. Let's look at it from the point of view of thoughts which resonate at the bus line 13 area that don't support harmony. So often people do not forgive a situation, or at least they don't forget it, so they don't forgive. They don't bring more light to a situation, and they can remain stuck here in their heart. But my understanding is the Creator likes to move through our heart to embrace the whole unified field with the wisdom that we all need one another. We're all connected. And we know when we feel happy, how expanded we feel in that heart level, and when we don't feel happy, how contracted we feel. So for me, 13 is allowing the expansion to resonate ahead of the contraction. And again, it's a journey. Maybe it doesn't happen overnight, but ultimately it will bring the eighth depth source into our being and allow it to reflect throughout every cell in our body. The only thing our cells need is love. All you need is love, starting with the thumb all the way to the little finger, which resonates to heart and small intestine. So you can see you can hold the nipple area here. You can actually hold the center of the sternum if that's more comfortable. Some people like to connect all their fingers together and put that on the sternum. Or you can hold that index finger and the little finger, dealing with fear here and anxiety here at the level of disharmony. Or holding the middle finger or jumper cabling upper arms. So whichever you're going to choose, make a choice now. Close your eyes. Exhale, inhale 9 times. Bus line area is where we hold a lot of our and transmit a lot of our thinking. So if some disharmonious thinking emotion comes up, just breathe through it. Don't argue with it, just breathe through it. And it move all the way down to your feet, to Mother Earth. And then inhale, bringing up the supportive, compassionate energy of the mother, all the way up the back. Safety energy lock 4, and back down to 13. Down to 15 and 7. Allow the wisdom of the heart to fill your consciousness. The heart energy pathway goes deep into the brain. Maybe you feel the compassion which we invoke when we place our hands on our energy locks. JIN SHIN JYUTSU is an art of compassion, which is born or not in the bus line in our hearts. So here you're really prepared to help harmonize yourself or others. When you resonate from the heart, you let the 8th depth source energy come into the 13. Allowing the energy to move through you, building the new, purifying the old, bringing you into a unified field of as above, so below. From the no thing, the space within the 9th depth. And when you complete that 9th cycle on 13, again, just observe. Maybe you did or didn't feel pulses holding any of these access points or access routes. 13. Don't mind, because it doesn't matter. Just be who you are with what you are. As Mary would say, it is as it is, and as it is, it is. And as I said ohm relating to the numbers adds up to that 35, which adds up to an 8, and that 1 and 8 are very close together. And I hope you can see, there it is, that 8 behind the knee. You had the 1 the side of the knee, inside knee. Now you have the 8 at the back of the knee. And again, Mary gives alternative ways of holding. And she says, I alone impose limitations upon myself. I alone am responsible for my being. No focusing on disorders, simply focus on 0 to 26, the answers to all disorders.
Right.
Here we go again. All the safety energy locks and 26 adding up to 8. So here it is, safety energy lock 8. And let's see what, well, we did this last week, holding the index finger if you wish, or you can hold the 25s, which is the sit bone, or the 2s, which is the hip bone. You make the choice, and let us begin. 9 exhalation inhalations. Shoulders relax. Imagine you're in an elevator. Allow your shoulders to sink down through the hip line, through the knees, the 1 and 8 area, into the feet, to the mother earth, and then recycled, regenerated up the back from safety energy lock 7 through 15 and 2 to 4. Bring any more light and beginning again to exhale. Notice how you're feeling. This 8 energy. As above, so below. And when you come to the 9th exhalation, inhalation, just observe. And maybe you're experiencing some of the rhythm, the strength, and the peace associated with the vibration of safety engine lock 8. Just observe. Don't judge, analyze, or anything like it. Just allow. And we're going to do, we got time, another round of 9 exhalation inhalations to top it off, if you like, with safety energy lock 26, which is the highest vibration in the safety energy lock system of the resonance of safety energy lock, or 8th depth. And for those of you that like to chant, and Yona, if you're not here, okay, but if you are, you can either join me or not. But if anyone likes to chant, this is your opportunity. And you can just gently chant or resonate with the sound OM. And for those of you, there it is, safety engine lock 26. So on the side of the shoulder blade, you can hold with one hand, and the other hand, as Mary shows, on the thigh there, 15 area, you can do either side. Or you can hold the center of the palm of the hand. She does show that there. Here. You can actually hold the middle finger with the thumb in the palm of the hand, and that'll get 26 too. Or you can give yourself a hug, hold the 26 either side, and thumbs on the 22. And you can chant quietly or a little out loud if you feel that that's what's appropriate. Oh. 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 And again, just observe, notice how you feel. Perhaps it made a difference to actually intone 8th depth as the own. Maybe it didn't. Although Mary Burmeister never actually described the 8th depth as the primal sound, sound does come before light of the 7th depth. And she did say it was the word, which, as I said, or the word of the Creator, which, as I said, is understood to be the Amen, the Ament, the Om. Maybe if she was still here, she would clarify that. I did speak with one of the JIN SHIN JYUTSU instructors about this, Waltraud Riga Grauser, and she said to me, yes, I think 8th depth is the Om, is the Amen, is the sound. So there we are. A journey into 2024, resonating with 8th depth. And you have some safety energy locks there that you can connect to open up channels to maybe help you feel more of that resonance. I don't know. Maybe you did, maybe you didn't. It's all your journey. But of course, we collectively did it, so we enhanced one another's field. Do we have any questions? No? Most people have disappeared. Liz, I cross legs to hold my wums. I don't, but you could. For me, it's more comfortable to cross my arms. Anyway. Anyone got any questions they want to raise? Raise your hand. Otherwise, don't. Yeah. Yeah. You know, when Ian Harris was with us, he actually did a special topic on the relationships of the energy locks to the depths, to the tones of the scale. And 8th depth is the high C. And the only time I ever saw that description was in a book by a disciple of Satyasai Baba, that high C was symbolic of God. So there's all these different associations that you could see. Most importantly, though, it's how did you feel? Your mind will process this stuff and maybe won't agree with it all. It's okay. It's more to do with the frequency and vibration as you connect it to the energy field and to the energy locks. That's it. How did you feel here? If it didn't feel comfortable, that's okay. Drop it for now. That may be the blockages preventing you from being aware of its value. Maybe. Go with the flow. Go with your heart. Go with your gut. Heart, small intestine. Heart, small intestine. Fifth depth. All right. So unless anyone really wants to say anything, share anything, I'm going to wish you all a happy rest of the day. And again, a happy 8th year, 2024. And let's see how...
Thank you, Terry.
You're welcome. How we can resonate with the source creator more and more. I think 2024 is going to be a very interesting year with a capital I am. We will see how it unfolds, and let's see if we can make that connection back to source so that we can help ourselves and connect with the planet and beyond to bring that harmonic creativity through all the planes of existence. There's a concept. All right, thank you, everybody. I appreciate your support for Harmonize2Energize. I will be continuing next Friday, and have a good rest of the day or weekend.
You mean Thursday?
That's right. Yeah, I don't know. You know, I was born on a Friday, and I was in this discussion with Wayne, and he said, "Oh, Friday, the heart." And I don't remember picking a Friday for that reason, but maybe it does resonate with me. I don't know, but
Great.
I will say that if a presenter, any of you, by the way, want to volunteer, wants to come on a Friday because they can't come a Thursday, Mark, if you're here, I know you can't. I will occasionally shift to a Friday, and I think I forewarned everybody about that. So there may be some Friday resonance in the future. But thank you all, and